Right, hello everyone. So I want to talk about Ezra Theodore and Spadothea coming out in 1.5. But before I even talk about them, I need to talk about 1.6 first, because 1.6 has just dropped Jiu Nyangzhi and Ge Tian's banner. Jiu Nyangzhi is the big one because she is a limited character. She's going to be a Chinese New Year special, I believe. So this banner, if it follows Arknight's standard, then Arknight's basically what happened was this banner would come back every year, and there will be a new character on it, and it will also be limited for that banner. So pretty much, Jiu Nyangzhi could be either super busted, and you miss her, and then you feel bad until the next Chinese New Year, or she's mediocre. In which case, if you miss her, you also won't feel so bad because the next Chinese New Year you still have a chance to get her. So that's the only two options I see here. So that is why I have to do a little bit of other planning right now. So I might consider just skipping 37 and 6, for example. I was going to skip 37, but I was not going to skip 6. But now that this banner is out, I'll have to wait for the kit first and see whether it's worth it to go and skip all of these other banners first. So either this banner is super buster and I skip 4 banners in a row to try and increase my odds of getting this character here, or I just think that I can live without her, in which case I will just go and pull for 6, and after that just skip the other 2 banners here. Yep, so ultimately I just need to see what this character's kit actually does, as well as Ge Tian, of course. Yep. So that's the preface. So let's talk about the actual character's kits. Ezra Theodore is a star character, and star characters love crits. This character supports crits and increases damage dealt to enemies pretty well. So this character applies Honey Fungus and Ghost Fungus. Ghost Fungus gives you critical damage 40%. And Honey Fungus applies Fragility. Enemies damage reduction reduced by 25%. Pretty good stuff. Mass Buff also grants 1 Moxie and 1 Eureka to all allies. So this part here, right, makes it so that he particularly synergizes very well with people like 37 and 6, because both of them also use Eureka, and this is a buff, and both of those characters also like buffs, which is why this character is very, very good synergy with 37 and 6 because of this Eureka mechanic so far. With the ult, you also plant maximum amount of Honey Fungus possible and mature all the mushrooms, triggering all effects immediately. So that is a really powerful ult. It will make it so that these mushrooms, which normally take about 3 turns, or unless you like use your insight in order to boost the growth of the mushroom, to pop immediately. So yeah, you definitely do want to be using this ult quite a lot, which is why this character requires quite a bit of actions as much as possible. Synergizes quite well with 2 fairy and regulars, of course, because those 2 characters can get by without using too many actions. Protection to the body. This makes you lose 15% of your current HP. You will see this quite often. This is a trend with this character. And causes 30% mental damage to 2 enemies and inflicts 15% mental based on the caster's maximum HP. This additional damage part here can critical hit, so this character loves crits as well. Plants 1 Honey Fungus. Maximum amount of Honey Fungus is 2. And if you use a 3-star card, the scaling gets better in every way. And you plant 2 Honey Fungus, which makes you go to the max of your mushrooms immediately. Stimulus to the Mind is a mass buff. You lose 15% of your current HP and you apply a shield of 15% max HP to all allies. So do note that even though you lose your current HP, the damage and the shield that you get scales off your max, which is why you always get good value out of using the skills. You just need to be a little bit careful when you use Protection to the Body, because you will not have a shield when you cast this. The shield only lasts for 1 round, which means that on the turn you cast, you get a little bit of extra HP. While for Protection to the Body, you do not get any protection at all. So you need to make sure you don't accidentally put him into a lethal health, in which case the enemy could just one-shot him from there. And then you will also plant 1 Ghost Fungus. Ghost Fungus also has maximum of 2 and also has the exact same maturing rate of 3 times. So going to the inside, this is where the mushroom stuff gets into effect. This character gains 2 Eureka, and after you use your ult, you gain 4 Eureka. When you use incantations, if you hit your maximum mushrooms, which is 2, then you consume 2 Eureka and you grow the mushroom 1 time. If the mushroom matures, you immediately trigger its effect. So this is how you can speed up the growth of the mushroom. And then Insight Tree, this is a very good Insight Tree because you get Moxie. So how this works is that when a round ends, as long as there's a mushroom on the field, you heal the caster based on 8% of the caster's lost HP. And this is each mushroom. So if you apply a bunch of mushrooms to enemies, then you will be able to get quite a fat amount of heal, and it scales off of your lost HP, which is very, very good. This effect can also crit, so like I said, this character loves critting. And when you use an incantation, if the maximum amount of mushrooms are planted, and the mushroom corresponding to that skill is not present, then 2 Eureka will be consumed to increase the caster's Moxie by 1. What this means, right, is that if you hit the max of your Ghost Fungus, then you cast Honey Fungus in order to apply one of the fungus. If you have not applied Honey Fungus before, then pretty much this part here will trigger and you will get +1 Moxie for you to get closer to that ult. So this is really good, gives you HP healing for yourself because you'll be killing yourself, but then this part here will heal you back up. And you also get additional Moxie generation as long as you apply a fresh mushroom after you hit the max on one. So what you want to do is kind of like, for example, Stimulus to max out your Ghost Fungus, and then you cast Protection to the body, and that will consume your Eureka to gain yourself more Moxie so that you can get to your ult, and then you can pop your ult to mature all mushrooms immediately. So this character loves actions, because the more actions you give him, the more he can go and grow his mushrooms, the more he can get to his ult, and the more he can give this Moxie and Eureka buff to all allies, as well as trigger all of the Honey Fungus for a big nuke turn. Because Honey Fungus will apply 2 stacks of weakness to all enemies, and that is a stack base, which means that if you pop your ult after you use this ult, then you'll be able to get this damage reduction and this critical damage buff here. So it's very, very solid as a support, as well as a mitigation, as well as all of these other debuffs. Very, very good stuff. So this character, I think I'm still going to skip, even though it's a very good character, just because he doesn't do a lot of DPS. This character here is a support, shielder, and applies fragility to enemies. Synergizes very well with 37 and 6. I am pulling for 6, so I will get some value if I were to get him. But 6 already is pretty self-sufficient just by having one other ally with buffs. So I do not need this character here. I think this character synergizes very well as a protector for 37, because 37 is very squishy actually. So having this character here who applies a constant shield to 37 really helps to improve her survivability. Also very good with, for example, Charlie. Even though Charlie can't use Eureka, Charlie is also very squishy. So getting all this extra shielding is really, really nice. And Charlie, of course, loves to get some fragility on enemies. And every now and then, Charlie might crit. It's very rare, but Charlie might crit sometimes. So yeah, this is just good shit. Very, very strong support. I still think I'm not going to pull for him, because I think I can live without him. I already put him in my luxury list. I think he's a very good character, it's just that I can't really afford to. Next is Spadothea. Spadothea is a single target beast DPS based on burn, and there are only 2 burn characters in the game, Ulu and Spadothea. So let's start with the ignition point here. This is the crux of this character's kit. So this character will apply a self buff on herself, grants 3 stacks of pre-ignition. Pre-ignition is for each stack carried by the caster, the target will receive 1 burn when you attack. So 3 means you apply 3 stacks of burn to the target when you attack. 6, apply 6, 9, apply 9. 2 stacks of exhilaration. This is just increase your crit chance by 15% for each stack, and all removed after you trigger it. The trigger means you auto attack with it. Basically use your little boxer skill here. And you also gain 1 stack of precast ignition point. This is the big one. So based on the level of this precast ignition point, you will get a level 1 precast little boxer incantation, a level 2 incantation, or a level 3 incantation. Little boxer is this one. So that means when you use this skill here, you pretty much get the card based on which star level you use your buff at. So if you use your 3-star buff here, you pretty much get your level 3 little boxer incantation to cast. And that is a crap ton of damage. And if the caster has pre-ignition, crit damage of this attack will be increased by 40%. So you get crit rate here, you get burn application here, and you get a high level little boxer card for you to go and punch the guy next turn. So this is really, really simple to understand. Just buff here and then cast the card that comes with the buff. If possible, try to get higher level buffs so you can get higher level ignition points. Yep. And once you can get to 15 burn stacks here, this ult here is massive. 700% reality damage. This attack's crit damage increased by 40%. If the target carries 15 or more stacks, crit damage increased by another 40%. So that is a very big single target nuke, which gets bigger if you have 15 stacks of burn applied to the enemy. So how does she do that? From the insights. The insights are also super simple, very simple DPS. When an attack inflicts burn, next attack has its crit rate increased by 25%. So if you use your level 3, right, you get 5 stacks of exhilaration, and 5 times 15% is 75%, and then you get this part here, and now you have 100% chance to crit, which is pretty damn insane. And then Flame Flower, when a single target attack lands a crit hit, you apply another 4 stacks of burn. So this character can apply quite a bit of burn as long as she can do crits, and she also applies burn naturally by pre-ignition here, based on the number of stacks of pre-ignition that you can get. So this character really loves incantation increases. So if you can pair her with like Anne and Lee or something, you can actually give her quite a lot of value. And this character can do a crap ton of crits and also has a lot of moves here that loves crits. So this character is a crit-based burn DPS. Burn, by the way, reduces healing received and also is a dot. At the end of the round, each stack of burn will make the target suffer damage equal to a percentage of their own attack. Apparently, burn scales off of the enemy's attack, which is quite interesting. But after each round ends, half of the burn stacks is consumed, and multiple stacks are still considered as one negative status. But it's okay because burn is actually a unique status. So if you need like 3 statuses, for example, for some characters, then burn can count as one of those statuses. Yeah. So this character is just very, very simple, right? You just buff, punch. If you get 15, punch harder. So really good stuff here. Ulu is a tailor-made support for Spadothea. So if you are going to go for Spadothea for this burn DPS, then you will also want Ulu for sure. Because Ulu has this inside tree here. Let's go to the inside first. At inside tree, at the beginning of the round, give all enemies 3 stacks of burn. So by existing, you are burning targets. Inside 1, after attacking an enemy under the burn status, you also restore 8% HP to all allies. In addition, apply burn with beating heart, deal a little bit more damage if the target is in burn status, and for your ult, grant all allies damage dealt and damage taken minus, lasts for 3 rounds. Nice number. If the total number of burn stacks carried is 15 or more, same as Spadothea, damage bonus is going to be increased by an additional amount. I do not know the number, it's just like put as plus here. So I do not know how much this is going to get increased. But as you can see, literally tailor-made for Spadothea, because if you just want to put Ulu on the field, then just give all of your actions to Spadothea, because basically Ulu is already helping just by existing on the field, and Spadothea will just be very happy to go and punch, get to 15 stacks and then nuke. So if you want to use Ulu as just a passive character, you can. And then the ult here is also pretty damn solid if you are ever going to use any of her actions here. Yep. So just some good stuff. So Ulu Spadothea. If you are going for Spadothea, you should try to get Ulu as well for a little bit more burn support and increase the consistency and speed of the burn application. I believe the banner is also going to include both of these characters. So the odds of getting both of them is pretty high. But like I said, 5 stars are harder to get than 6 stars. So if you don't get one, right, it's just gonna feel a little bit wonky in terms of the burn stuff. I think if you look at the global tier list, right, they pretty much put Ulu as a tailored support for Spadothea, makes her ultimate extra damage easier to proc, and the skill set is super niche when used without burn, and the ultimate buff is also mediocre without the burn on enemies, and requires teammates that can only apply burn. So this character is good only with burn characters, which is where Spadothea comes, and Spadothea wants a lot of actions. So you definitely do want to just give her as much actions as possible so that she can keep spamming her punches and do a crazy amount of damage with that ult. Yep. Right, so this is just stupid powerful. I believe her skill 2 also makes it so that she gets a free extra skill 1, which means that you get 1 extra card, which is really nice. Because yeah, sometimes you don't get the skill that you want. So having a skill that generates the skill that you are going to need next turn is really good to improve the consistency of her punches. So I think there's some good shit as well. Right, anyway, let's talk about Desert Flannel. Desert Flannel will come with Ezra. They are on the same banner. Ezra is... Desert Flannel is also a support. Support DPS, kind of. Not really. Only family. Self-counter, you apply 1 stack of Plappy and 1 stack of Burst Strength to yourself. You will repulse with Plappy, and the crit rate and crit damage is increased by 25%. Burst of Strength makes it so that the damage cost is increased by 25%. So very simple, you just buff yourself, you can counter attack, and you do more damage when you counter attack. Mixed doubles, 1 attack, deal 180% reality damage. If the caster has pause status or counter, you get more crit and crit damage. So another crit based DPS. And the mass heal is the big one. Mass heal restores all allies HP by 100% of caster's attack, and you grant all allies 2 stacks of burst strength and 2 stacks of momentum if they are beast types. So this is a beast type character. She is mono beast focused. Burst of strength, when you attack, the damage increased by 25%. Momentum, when attacking, incantation might is increased by 20%. So that is a very nice buff for your mono beast. So I think this character is actually very solid and can only be placed into a beast team. And when you get her to inside 3, when you enter combat, you gain 1 moxie for each beast afflictor's ally in the battle, which means you get about 3 or 4 if the fight lets you get 4 actions. So that is really good. Makes you get to this ult really fast, and you can get quite a big burst of damage at the start. While for your Insight 1, when under pause status or counter, you increase your crit rate by 15%. So for this character, I think she's not super good compared to other supports, but if you are going to use her, you will use her in a Mono Beast, and Mono Beast will very much enjoy her ultimate. If you look at the global tier list for this character here, I'm pretty sure, yeah, tier 2. Beast bonus character, gains damage buff from using skill to the counter, ultimate gives damage buff to all allies, gains extra moxie for each beast teammate on stage entry for quick access to ultimate, and then benefits the most from Mono Beast. So pretty much, this character is okay. Like, if you are going to run Mono Beast and you lacking a support, then feel free to just slap this character in there. Otherwise, I honestly don't see a reason for her. Personally, I already have so many supports that already can do that job, but are more flexible than her, because Soneto, the most flexible character in the game, literally her buff can be used anywhere. Pickle's the exact same. For Cornbloom, she only works with Reality, but it's very, very strong. Reality as well, but good mitigation. Crowd Control, 30% damage buff, and then this one is just additional mental damage. So in that regard, right, I already have so many other supports, which is why I don't need this character. Same for Ezra Theodore, because Ezra Theodore is good to pair with 37, but at the same time, I can probably get by just using another support. Supports, I have plenty of options for supporting, so I do not need all these supports. What I need is DPSs for my team comp, because my team comp, as you can see here, I only have 1, 2, and then I have not built my Lilia, so I only really have 2 DPSs, and then I'm using Cornbloom as a very scuffed plant DPS. So these are basically my DPSs. I need more DPSs. You really only lack like DPSs in this game, honestly. You can find a lot of supports, you can find a lot of healer options. Although 2 of the best healer options are 6 stars, but you do have some decent 5 stars as well. Like Necrologist is pretty decent. Balloon Party, and then DK. DK not that great, but still functional. Actually, now that I think about it, some supports are also healers are also pretty hard, because there's 2 really powerful 6-star healers here. Yeah, so actually, yeah, I'm actually quite blessed to have 2 Fairy and Pocket in my team. Okay, so anyway, besides that, pretty much my list here is gonna put Ulu and Spadothea here. I think they are really fun and probably do crazy amounts of damage, but even though I really want them, I can probably live without them. I really want all of these other like beast DPSs here, or just another hyper carry, honestly. I just want a hyper carry so that I can go and DPS some of the content. Right now, all of my DPSs, right? Charlie is the only like good single target damage dealer. Eternity is not that great. So what I really want is someone that does insane amount of damage to a single target. And that's either going to be Black Dwarf or Melania. And those are the 2 that I really, really want. Of course, Jessica. Of course, Jessica is just crazy strong anyway. So yeah, these 3 are the main DPSs that I really want. Centurion is I really want as well, but I think the other 3 are a little bit stronger than her. But she's also stupid strong, so yeah, it's really hard to say. Alright, so that is it. I'm just gonna put these 2 here, and then for the other 2, I think they are luxurious characters. You can get by without them. There are plenty of other supports in the game for you to get by. And then all of this, right, the reasoning is just cause I need to save up for these banners here. Because this limited banner, right, I don't know if she's gonna be stupid busted or if it's gonna be okay, in which case I can probably live without her. To be fair, she is mineral, so unless she's like a stupid strong mineral DPS, right, I think I can probably live without her, but I also haven't seen the kit, so I also do not know yet. Right, so if you have any information about this character's kit or translated it yourself, then feel free to just paste it in the comments so I can go and read it. I haven't really go and looked at any other sources for the translations. I'm pretty sure there's a few videos already about the kit. Maybe I should go and look at those. And Gertian, haven't seen his kit yet. And lastly, there's a very nice banner here. Select 2 units for rate up, and then you use a 35 plus 35, 30 instead of usual 50-50. I think this number here is you pull 35, and then you pull 30 more, and then you get another 6-star or something like that. I'm not sure about this number here. Don't take my word for it. But this banner here is supposed to be a lot better than the 50-50 system. So it's going to be quite interesting. Right, so yeah, that is going to be it. I'm still going to struggle and scream to get myself my Jessica. And then after that, if I don't get Jessica, it's going to be Black Dwarf. And then after that, if this character turns out to be good, I'll probably just skip 37, 6, Spadothea, and Ezra just for this one limited banner here, if she is very good. Right, so any information you can give me about this character here, I would greatly appreciate it. Right, so I hope this helped you with your own planning. Hope this helped you with your own savings plan as well. And let me know if I made any mistakes or you think the character is better than I just looked at it. Right, so that will be it for this video. Thank you all for watching, and goodbye.